Okay, so here we go with section or unit 4, section 7, practice work. All right, so it's going to tell us that we have uh, two quadrilaterals, and we're going to map uh, CYWR onto BTNH. Here on out, I'm going to call this quadrilateral blue on the quadrilateral orange. Quadrilateral blue on the quadrilateral orange. Okay, so what's it gonna take to do this, right? So if I'm gonna do this, it's gonna take how many a sequence? Describe a sequence of transformations. So let's see. Well, let's see if a 90-degree rotation will get me to the orientation that I need. Nope. Let's keep going to looks like a 180-degree rotation will get me there. Okay, so 180 degree gets me to the right orientation. Okay, so let me see from here. Let me go ahead and mark a point 1 right there. I was on this point right here. Looks like it corresponds to this point right here. So what point was that? That was point C. So my point C, right, looks like it corresponds with point H. Right, so point C looks like it corresponds with point H. Right, I'll maybe make a note of that. Actually, it asked me that down here. So point C corresponds to point H. So it corresponds to point H. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and see how many things I need to move this over to meet it. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over, and 1 up. So it's gonna be 5 over and 1 up. So my delta x is plus 5. My delta y is plus 1. Okay, and if this is, so let me go ahead and just, if that was h, well, let me just do this. This is c, y, r, and w, and then it goes like this. That means that I have t, go down to my table down here that it's asking me for. So my w lines with t, so my w lined up with t, w lined up with t. Let's see, my n lined up with r lined up with n, r lined up with n, and then my y lined up with b, lined up with b. My patty paper sure is a useful tool. Okay. Alright, so to describe the sequence, I'm going to describe it using an algebraic description because I like them. So my first sequence is my blue, black to blue. So I'll just use my blue sequence to orange. So my first sequence is to my blue to my not shown one. That's a x comma y, and that is a 180-degree rotation. So it's negative x comma negative y. Okay, it's a 180-degree rotation about the origin, and then I wanted to get the orange one is x comma y, and that was the translation of x plus, I need these colors. Yeah, I don't make it confusing, whatever. X plus 5 comma y plus 1. So that was my transformation for that. Okay, and then I'm going to say that I did it, and I went this way with it. I went that way with my, I made it blue. I went this way with it. It was a clockwise rotation of 180 degrees. Clockwise rotation rotation of 180 degrees. That seems like a silly detail to put in, right? But I put it in there for a reason, because the next one says the sequence of transformations that will map the quadrilateral, the blue one, blue quadrilateral to orange quadrilateral, includes a rotation. Yep, it sure did. Describe the sequence using a different rotation. I could do that with 2 rotations and a reflection, but it says using a different rotation. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use it counterclockwise. Counterclockwise 180 degree rotation. I'm going to rotate it this way. I'm going to rotate it this way. Counterclockwise 180 degrees. And the algebraic description for that is x comma y yields negative, or it's drawn from negative x, negative y. And then my algebraic description for, and that's going to put it in the same spot. My algebraic description, which I didn't put, my algebraic description is going to be for my translation. It's going to be x comma y, x plus 5 comma y plus 1. When there's an easy solution, take it. And besides, that's what I checked the key, and that's what it wanted me to do. Anyway, so there we go. So write the algebraic description that matches the written one for the transformation. Hey, I already did that. I did that. And it wanted words up here. So I guess I'll write the words. Counterclockwise rotation 180 degrees. Transformation. Or horizontal shift. Horizontal shift right 5 units, shift up 1 unit, and then I'll go like this. Same. Yeah, that's what I wrote right there. So, okay, so then the algebraic descriptions are blue one minus x comma minus y, and then transpose what I had before, x plus 5 y plus 1, and then complete the congruent statement. The orange, wait, this is the blue one. The blue quadrilateral, my blue quadrilateral, this one right here, is congruent to my orange quadrilateral. And why can I make that statement? That's because the angles, and this was the H, B, T, T, R. Make sure it's in the same order. B coordinate, C coordinates with H, correlates with H, Y coordinates with B, W coordinates with T, and R coordinates. It's in the order of this. So it's C, Y, W, R, and H, B, T, R. It's important that the order is the same, right? So I'm sure you do it that way. Otherwise, it's a different, like, shape technically. So the angles would be different, and the sequences would be different. So that matters. You know, like the sequences of the sides would be different. So the congruent statement is important, but these are congruent shapes because the sides are all the same. Right, so if I had said, let me add a little bit of clarification. side CY is congruent to HB. CY is congruent to HB, right? And then YW is congruent to BT. YW is congruent to BT. And then you'd say WR, WR is congruent to TR. WR is congruent to TR. WR is congruent to TR. TR, where's TR? Oh, wow, I made a mistake. RR, that should be N. I can't believe I didn't catch that. That should be N. TN. N. Yeah, so that's how it looks, right? So that's what that means. If it's got to be in the right order. Okay. Moving on to the next page. Okay, I have two different colored KHXD, burgundy, and then orange is TMYR, orange. Let's grab a sequence of transformations. So I have I would map K, grab my purple. Okay, so I have my purple. I gotta map it onto my D. Okay, so let's see if a 180 to anything, any rotations would put me in the right orientation. Okay, would a rotation that way put me in the right orientation, or that way put me in the right orientation? I'm not in the right orientation. Wait, that is the right orientation, right? Yeah, that puts me in the right orientation. So that seems to be like a 90-degree rotation. That's like that's like kind of like the right rotation there. From here, it's like a 45. That doesn't seem to be right. I think we need to do a reflection in here somewhere. So maybe a reflection. There we go. That's a reflection if I ever saw one. Right, so reflection, and then probably a translation. So a reflection and a translation, and let's see how many we need to translate it by. So I reflected, that put me right there. I looked at my D-axis, I just followed my D from here to there. And then it looks like I need to go down one, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be -1 in the y-axis. Negative my y, delta y, is going to be -1, and my delta x is going to be +5. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and my reflection across the xy is my relationship is xy reflects across the y changes. So that's my relationship. I'll just jot those down for memory and describe the sequence of transformations. Okay, as a reflection across the y-axis, reflection across, not a y-axis, the x-axis, across x-axis, and then shift right by 5 units, shift down by 1 unit. Show mapping of the transformations on the coordinate. Okay, so I'll make the mapping from here, from my first one to here, so D goes from D, I'm going to write it up to 2, that's D prime, write this up to 2, that's D, that's X prime, write this up to 6, that's K prime, write this up to 4, that is H prime. H prime. Draw it all together. Now I will just map each one of these to where it told me to map to. So I'm going to go over and down. Now I'm going to make this one go down and over. Down, over and down, down, over and down, and over and down. There's my mapping. I did it. Okay. 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 1. Okay, there we go. C, green and orange. C, green and orange. Okay, C, green and orange. Okay. Vertex. Oh man, okay. So all right, so vertex D maps, oh, good thing I drew some lines, maps to vertex, D goes to T. D goes to T. Alright, K went to M. H, where was H? H went to Y. Went to Y, and X went to R. X went to R. This was X. It wasn't labeled. X went to R. X went to R. Okay, now write some algebraic descriptions. So a green one. Again, I wrote that up there for us. So as X comma Y. Y changed, X stay the same from my reflection. And then for my translation, it was my X went up 5, my Y went down 1. Okay, and then my congruent statement, because of this, gotta look at the right order, right? It was gonna be KX dy. All right, so my K was M, my H was Y, my X was R, and my D was T. So you gotta make sure that's all in the right order. And that's it. Hope you get it.